3 weeks. It has been 3 weeks since I purchased my iPad Pro. Here she is. I do have a little case for her. I just bought it down at the local shopping center. I just needed something to cover her up when I was going out and about and speaking with clients, because I don't want it to get dirty and I just don't want to accidentally scratch it, but I don't actually use this case when I'm at home. So it's one of those cases where she turns on and then she also turns off when it closes up. That's the back. So when I'm at home, I'm definitely using it like this. I wish I could find a case that just kind of held up the back of it, but I'm not too fussed. So I just want to get straight into it because this is what we're here for. I'm going to show you exactly how I use my iPad Pro for my work, and my work is your social digital media management. So I work with a lot of different clients. I prefer to use my iPad upright. I do some of my editing happens to the side when I'm doing like photo editing, things like that, but most of the time it's this way, but that's just what works for me. Okay, so let's dive in. Now, just quickly, my most used apps are always on the right-hand side because I'm right-handed. I want to access them very, very quickly. So my Google Calendars is the top one. The next one down is editing tools and social management. Just something that I prefer to do. Not sure if that will help you in any way, but just a little tip. Now, as we go through on the top left there, I've got my invoicing app. So I do all of my invoicing via this app. Highly recommend it, love it. Reminders is the next one over, and that comes with the actual Apple product with the iPad. And again, this is something I would highly recommend. I've just started using it and I am getting a feel for it, and I have over the last 3 weeks. And at the moment, I'm really enjoying it. Like, I know I can do that inside my Google Calendar, but I like how it's laid out and it gives you different albums of things that you can use. So if you wanted to make an album for yourself of reminders, or one client, client A, client B, client C, things like that. Next over is Notability, and this was a big reason also why I moved to the iPad. So Notability is a note-taking app, but you can actually use it with your Apple Pencil and write on it like you're writing on a notepad. You can highlight things, you can delete things very quickly, you can move things around, you can draw. Great app, well worth the $20 or $30 I paid for it, and I love it. Google Calendars, so like I said, it's a main use app for me, and I have actually moved my whole diary, my paper diary, into my Google Calendar in the last 3 weeks, and it's working so well for me. I use a lot of paper, and again, this is another reason why I got the iPad. For Notability and also the calendar, I have stopped writing so many notes, and I don't have as many notepads around me, and it's really great because if I forget a notepad and I forget where I put it, that's another thing. Where is it in the notepad? Very frustrating sometimes. So Google Calendars, big yes. Then moving over to my Apple apps. Now this is everything that, as it states, it's an Apple app, my camera, my app store, my settings. I just don't need access to it, but I would still like to have it on my iPad. Also because I like everything to be on one page. So that really works for me. And also if I slide down on the top right there, like I can still access my camera and my notes and other things that I've put in there if I need to access them quickly. So next one over is entertainment. Now it's purely just that, Netflix, music, things like that. Now I don't use it a lot, but it's more personal, so that's why that one is there. Documents, so if I open this one up, a lot of the stuff actually came with the iPad. So we've got keynote numbers, pages, and files, which all came, I believe, with the iPad. And then I've also uploaded my sheets, my docs, and my drive in there. Now I use my drive and my sheets a lot with my clients with sharing documents. So in Sheets, I have all of my content calendars that I share with them where they approve what's happening and things like that. So that is my documents. And editing tools, the thing that everyone always wants to know about. So we've got iMovie being the first one. Now I don't use iMovie, but she's just there just in case. I actually use Final Cut Pro on my desktop. And then if I'm on the iPad, I actually use Splice. But iMovie is just there just in case, you never know, I might need it. But Splice is a video editing tool and I highly recommend it. It's really, really easy to use. Also, the one below that is called Quik. Now, this is also a really good video editing tool, especially if you're short on time. So check that out. It pretty much makes the videos for you where you don't have to go in and fix everything. So that's a really good option. Lightroom is my number one photo editing tool, and I bought the annual subscription for that as well, but you don't need it to actually use most of the features. Canva is just there. I use most of the time on my desktop, but I do like to have it there just so I can save things quickly if I need them on the run. Mojo is Mojo and StoriesEdit. So these are like your template editing things for like Insta stories and stuff like that. They're in the portrait mode, and so is Splice. So these have like really great templates in them. Mojo is hands down one of my favorite apps ever. Like, I think it is the bomb. I'm just going to go into it and just quickly show you. So it's just got all of these great templates. You have videos, you can have photos in them, but the way that they've laid it out and all of the extras that they allow you to have once you're inside it is fantastic. It's absolutely a fantastic app. And it just looks so clean and so professional and works really well for most brands. StoriesEdit, I think you can still put videos in it, but it definitely works better with photos. And this is actually ran by Planoly, which we'll get into in a second. Reposter is a reposting app for Instagram, and VSCO is another photo editing app. You can also use it with video. I don't use it a lot. It's kind of like my second last if I was to go to anything, but I do like some of the filters in there, so I keep it there. Then we've got Shopify and Wix. Now, I do a lot of management of back end of websites for different clients, so that's why both of those are there, because I do management for Shopify for one client and Wix for another client. We've got photos, and then we've got social management. So here, I'll just go through. So Tailwind and Planoly are scheduling apps for Instagram and Facebook. Some of them also do Pinterest as well, but I don't schedule for Pinterest. So Tailwind I use only because I have a client that uses them, and they have a yearly subscription, but I wouldn't recommend using them. So we're using that until their actual subscription is up. But Planoly is my number one scheduling tool for Instagram and Facebook, and I highly recommend it. I absolutely love it. And then we've got Asana, so that's more of a team management tool, so you can communicate, you can create different I suppose like documents that you can share and chat and track everyone's goals. YouTube Studio, so that's a back end of YouTube. I use this because I do manage a couple of different YouTube accounts, but I do most of that on my desktop. We've got Dropbox, self-explanatory. Business Suite is Facebook's new Facebook page, so business management app. And I really like this new version. It's really awesome. Facebook pages was a little touch and go at times, but this is really great. And especially if you have a company that has products in your Facebook page, you can actually pull them over and sell through this app. So it's really, really great. Ninjalitics is an analytics app for Instagram. So I use that a lot for my clients to kind of pull up information and give them kind of like monthly reports and weekly reports depending on what they're asking for. Then at the bottom line here, we've got Pinterest, TikTok, and YouTube. So there's just your social media accounts. And then at the bottom on my bar, I've got Instagram and Facebook because they're the two that I access the most. And then obviously Safari and my mail. So that's all self-explanatory. But that's it. That's my whole management preparation, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I highly recommend, depending on what you need this for. It's really working for me, and I was just getting so bogged down because my phone was just kind of capturing everything, like my personal life and my business life, and it was becoming too much for me. Another thing that I really like is that obviously I can have Instagram app here and Instagram app here, but I don't have the same accounts on it. So I have my personal ones on my phone, and then I have more of my business ones here. So I don't need to be looking at them all the time, and it's not like a million notifications popping up, regardless if I can stop them or not. Every time I pick this up, it is business related. I know I'm going to work, I know I'm about to do something, editing, posting, whatever it is, it's all on my iPad. So I hope that helped you in one way or another, as if you should even buy an iPad, what you even need it for, would you even use it? If you have any questions about the apps or about how I use it and I haven't covered it today, just comment below and I'll get back to you. Thank you guys and see you soon.